Today we're going to paint a lovely, soft, muted watercolour based on blue, wintry poppies. If, like me, you feel that you're drowning in an ocean of product options, this video will help you find simplicity. I'm going back to my watercolour roots, rediscovering how to spend less time deciding and more time painting. So let's get started. Today I am going to do a really simple little floral, and I'm only going to use ordinary watercolours with nothing extra at all. Now this is a piece of Arches watercolour paper, £140, 100% cotton, which I've taped down ready to start. And here I've got my traditional set of watercolours. It's a mixture of different brands here. We've got some Winsor & Newton, some Schminke, some Sennelier, I think, and maybe a couple of others as well, like Old Holland, and maybe even a couple of Daniel Smith, maybe. Some of these little squares have been filled up with tube paints and allowed to dry. Some of them came the way they are. It's just a mixture of my favourites over the years. Some of them are very old, like this one, which is Indian red or English red or something like that, and that I have had since I remember when I got it. It was about 1989. So it's amazing how long paints can work. I learned a tip the other day, actually, from Hazel Sohn, who I'm going to be talking about on Patreon before very long, and looking at one of her old books and referring to one of her videos that she's got up on YouTube. Hazel Sohn, very famous English artist, very good, very, very skilled indeed. Oh, it's starting to rain again. Here we go. And she talked about how when she's going to use she uses a set a bit like this, actually, with the 4 rows of her favourite colours. But she doesn't obviously use all the colours every time she starts to paint. She just uses some, and she decides which ones she's going to use ahead of time. And then she wets those ones, but she doesn't wet them all. You know how sometimes we find ourselves tempted to take a bottle of water like this and just spray everything so it's all ready to roll. Well, according to her, and I think she's right, that's a bad idea, because every time you spray your paints with water, it soaks up some of the gum arabic, which is what glues the paint to the paper. And if you continually do that without actually using up the pigments, you end up with a lot of pigment and not enough gum arabic. That's what she said anyway. And that's why you get these kind of hard edges and things that you can't really activate. So it's not something to forget, actually. I'm going to try and remember to do that in future myself. The colours I've got here, this is a kind of, it looks a bit like Antone blue. I think it's a mixture of a couple of blues that I've got from here, and I've just kind of smushed them together. That, I believe, is raw umber. This is Winsor violet. This one is a kind of lemon yellow. This is, I think, burnt sienna. This is indigo, and this is turquoise blue. And this is, I think it's a kind of sap green. They vary a little bit, you know, they can't always be exactly the same from one set to another. But those are the colours I've picked out to use. And the painting I'm going to do is just going to be a bunch of random leaves, kind of just all down here in the front, some of them quite pale, and I'll put those in first, and then I'll put some flowers in on top. So I'm just going to try to indicate where I'm going to put the flowers. We'll put one up here, and nothing particularly original about this layout at all. So one here. I'm going to have to sit down so I can see what I'm doing. Maybe one here, leaning slightly the other way. And maybe, I don't know, one over here, a small one perhaps, not quite sure. Something like that. So just vaguely indicate where the flowers are going to be. So what I want is some turquoise, but dulled down a little bit to make a kind of pale greeny grey, something like that. So that's, I think that's indigo, pretty sure it's indigo. Or it could be, what do you call it? Oh no, it's indigo as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so let's just draw in some random leaves. And as I said, we'll start with the lightest ones first. And these could be said to be in the background. I'm going to try to avoid where I've actually said I'm going to put the flowers. And then I think I'll add a little bit of green And you can just drop green in some places if you want, just let it mix and mingle. Do a few bigger strokes. Sort of bring them down, keep them fairly straight actually is probably best. And I will put some darker ones on top, but I won't do that just yet. I think I might do that when we get towards the end. Okay, so then I'm going to try for the flowers, and I am developing a backache. I don't know quite where that's coming from. Let's take a bit more of this purple, sorry, not purple, turquoise, and mix that with a bit of the dark blue, which could be in Antone blue. And let's put in some petals. Let's wet the paper first. And we'll drop more colour in a minute. Probably need to do more than one layer. I'm going to leave that to do its thing. We might mix some of this brown with some of this blue to make a very dark blue. And then maybe I will just bring this down like that. A bit more of this light blue with the turquoise. There's my turquoise. I'm going to have to get a bit more turquoise on, aren't I? A bit more of the dark in here. Okay, so it worked actually quite well. Pick up some more turquoise and put it here. Worked quite well to wet the shape roughly. And I'm going to put a little bit of violet at the top here and then dull down that a little bit. Then we go back to this very dark blue. Something like that. Another way of doing it actually is to put the dark in first, if you want to, and then just pull it out. That's just a slightly different way of doing it, and you could drop in some mauve at the top if you wanted to. And we'll see how that goes. And then go back, get your dark, and just run that down. Like that. And then I'm going to go for some violet. So this purple mixed with some of this blue up here, and in the top here we'll put some purple like that. And now we need some green, so I'll just pick up some yellow, mix it with that. I want some slightly different green here, because these are buds. And now I'm going to add a few more random leaves. Let's have one more of these down here, or maybe here. A little bit of purple up the top. This very dark colour here. And I think we're going to need, I'm sorry this is rattling a bit. I'm going to put some twiggy bits, I'm going to move that because I keep touching it. Some twiggy bits up the middle here. And just some sort of background shadow really in the background. And is this dry? Yes, more or less. So let's put a bit more turquoise, just a bit, but dull it down with some of this indigo there. Oh, it's raining again. I think I need to get the hairdryer out just for a sec. Put a bit of dark in the centre here. There, and then what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do a bit of spatter above the flowers here to indicate the idea of, you know, pollen or whatever. And just a few sparky bits there. Maybe we'll just pop in a little bit of mauve in one or two places, not particularly attached to anything. Just to balance the colours out a little bit. And then I think just darken the front part there. Leave that. be a bit more second coat on here, very loosely. And I think I'm pretty much going to call that done. I'm sorry, it had fallen off the side there. I don't know quite what happened, but I'm sure you've seen most of it. So there we are. That is our flower for the day. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I said a little bit of stuff at the beginning about, you know, simplicity and so on. And I think really we all need to have a bit more simplicity in our lives. I know I do. So that's where we're headed at the moment. I think, let me know what you think about that idea. You know, it's all very well having all of these things and suggesting that people might need them. I mean, the really good thing, I have to say, about the brush pens that I was showing you yesterday or the day before, whenever, is that you can correct mistakes, and it's true. The other way to correct a mistake is just to do the painting again. And I want to say here also that I have been using Meaden paper for a long time now, and I will continue to use that, but every now and again I'm going to do a painting on a better quality paper such as this one here, because I've got a lot tucked away in my cupboards here, and it seems a shame not to use it, and I'm sure that after I'm gone my daughter won't use it because she doesn't really paint, and it will deteriorate. If any of you have got stashes of paper for, you know, waiting for I don't know when, use it, because it doesn't last forever. It does lose its sizing, that is to say it doesn't shrink, but it becomes unsuitable for painting watercolor on. And this is still in good shape, although I've had it an awful long time, but still, you know, time marches on resolutely, and we have to, you know, think about that, don't we? So anyway, don't want to be maudlin, or maudlin rather, or anything like that, but here we go. And here comes a cat, and I'll tell you about the cats later. So watch this space and come and see me over on Patreon, and see the things that our top level of patrons actually get, the special things that we are able to offer to our subscribers over there. So I'll let you go. I better go and let the cat in before he has a fit, and I'll see you again soon. So bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.